All right, collective, welcome back. It's Monday, April 6th, as you can see. 211 on the timer. That's cool. I like that. Look at the 211. It's magic. All right. So the first card we have is the Six of Cups. And so I see that maybe perhaps there is a relationship or just an innocence that perhaps you're carrying now. Or perhaps children are involved and you're healing your heart. Maybe you're healing your childlike heart, healing from heartbreak, freeing yourself from toxic relationships and toxic bonds, which is beautiful. I see that you're thinking about maybe perhaps either seducing someone or how you've been seduced, or flirting with temptation or hooking up with third party. It feels like there was a third party interference in your relationship or at some point, or some type of temptation of flirting, some type of attraction that you have, or maybe you're thinking about a particular person. Yeah, I think maybe there's a third party situation because I'm thinking about maybe you're something about doing things your way, and maybe you thought your way was the best, and so you're thinking about that now because now I see you looking at how maybe there was points where you were gaslighting yourself, and if you were gaslighting yourself, it looks like you're returning home to like it's like you're returning home to a new life. It's like you may have had a come to Jesus meeting. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is, the woman at the well. You may have had a come to Jesus meeting where you're looking at behaviors that you've done in the past that don't serve you, or hookups, because I'm seeing the woman at the well. Jesus said to her, you have many husbands. And she was like, oh shit, how do you know that? And so maybe you hooked up with a lot of people, you had a lot of soul ties, and having mindless, careless sex and gaslighting people and lying. And, maybe this caused people to stalk you, or maybe, maybe you gaslit yourself, something like that. All right, collective, let's see what else we got. Tell me more about this seductionist gaslighting. So I feel like there was a breakup because of that. And again, it looks like you're thinking about this breakup. You're thinking about doing things your way when you did things your way, feeling this loss, feeling this grieving and mourning. Tell me more about this stalking and this gaslighting. It looks like, yeah, I don't know if there's a conversation that you want to have with the person that you had a third party relationship with, or maybe the person that you were cheating on with, whatever, take it as it resonates. But it's something about boundaries, and maybe you think they're still angry, or maybe you're being blocked, or maybe you do, yeah, maybe you're blocked. Maybe you avoid dealing with the conversation. Maybe you're not having a conversation, or you avoid dealing with it, or maybe they don't want to have a conversation with you. There's a karmic partner that was involved. There's resentments and things like that. There's a need for you to let go of things. There was a commitment that was there. Maybe you have a commitment with the karmic partner that happened. Okay, so now we have some movement. 2114 on the timer. Okay, so tell me more about this engagement, Spirit. Tell me more about this engagement. This ready. Maybe you had a commitment with a karmic partner. Maybe you were engaged to somebody from the past that maybe you went back to with a third party situation. Yeah, it looks like you were healed from this relationship and maybe you went back to it. I'm feeling like that because it's saying third party and karmic. So maybe perhaps you started a relationship because it came with healing in reverse. The woman of the issue of blood, when she was bleeding for 12 plus years and she touched the hem of Jesus' garment. So maybe you were healed from this relationship and maybe you returned back to it. Imagine a woman of issue of blood getting her issue of blood back, confirmation, prodigal son. So maybe you want to return again for another healing, like, for Jesus, maybe, or Holy Spirit, maybe, you feel like you got out of the situation one time and like, oh, I need to get out of it again, Yeah. Maybe you didn't take the extension when it was time for you to extend, in your thinking and a higher mindset. Extend, go into the heavens in your thinking to go higher minded. You didn't do that. Maybe that you didn't ascend at the time. So how can we move forward, Spirit? What's something that the collective can do to move forward? Okay, moving forward, there's a need to write music, listen to music. Something about being with your music and lyrics. You could be young, but it's something about expressing yourself through music. So maybe perhaps your answers are through music, writing music, singing music, creating music, something with music. And having an open heart and being kind and gentle And then this is making a plan to answer the call. This is Abraham leaving, right? Leaving the land of Canaan. His where he came from. Is it Canaan he came from? Where did he come from? Where did he come from? Oh my God. Sorry. He left the land of He left the land of to go to the land of, and ended up being Canaan. But to the promised land, right? 7 of grains. And so maybe you're thinking about putting this hard work in. And so Spirit says, just put the work in. Just put the work in, guys. Just put the work in. And I'm going to pull what kind of energy can the collective use to put the work in. Wisdom. This is Emma Frost. If you don't know who Emma Frost is, go look her up on YouTube. She's a Marvel character. If you think it's cold now, just wait. So maybe perhaps using your logic, perhaps maybe there's a bit of need to... what should they call? What is it that you need to be called about? Something you need to be called about. Okay, what do you need to be called about? Spirit. Some jumbled up. Okay, I know what's done. Oh yeah, you're coming up here. You're gonna have to take some. Okay, there may be a need to get this victory. You're going to have to step up, and it's like returning back from Babylon. You know, you may have been held captive in your brain mentally. And so wherever you're going to make a plan towards, you're going to have to plan to be successful. You may have to tell the person or tell the thing. You may have to do it several times, 7 times I'm hearing. You may have to keep not giving up. When I say 7 times, you may have to, stand in your power. King of Cups. So this is leading with an open heart, being gentle, being kind, but not being nice, because you're having to rebuild after coming back from basically hell. And you're going to have to destroy something that is going to take sound. So your music, whatever you create, something about this music, because the sound with the Battle of Jericho, they walked around the city 7 times, and on the 7th time when they blew the trumpet, the city walls fell. So maybe something about 7th day, maybe 7 times, something about doing things without fail and not quitting. And I'm getting a huge itch in the back of my neck. So something about not quitting. I feel like you shouldn't. Oh, confirmation. You shouldn't quit on, I guess, this deliverance that you're getting coming out of Babylon. Like you're being delivered again. I guess Jesus is like, I'm going to heal you again. Spirit's like, I'm going to heal you again. The Holy Spirit's like, I'm going to heal you again. And you're coming out of this with the victory after this defeat. You're going to defeat the enemy again. Even though you did defeat it once, you went back. You're going to get a chance to get the Ark of the Covenant. This is when the Ark of the Covenant came back to the children. Look how happy they are. So maybe you lost the Ark of Covenant to Babylon, You lost your protection. You lost your healing. You lost the voice of God. You lost you lost your superpower, your weapon. Like the Pharaoh's pursuit towards the children. Maybe you're moving fast towards something now. So what can you move fast towards? What can they move fast towards? You finna defeat the Goliath. You finna defeat the giant. You're finna defeat the giant. Whatever thing, devil, energy, event, circumstance, situation that you think is so big, it's going to take but one little slingshot. And I guarantee it's going to be your words. I guarantee it's going to be your song. I guarantee it's going to be something like that. All right, tell me about this giant. Okay, the collective has to be the giant. There's a person that you're connected to, and y'all may have had a strong bond, a lot of history. But when you can't touch each other, when y'all touch, maybe you just don't mix, Something about your touch just doesn't feel right. They may have been a strong bond there, but it takes too much work. Maybe y'all drain each other. Maybe the person will drain you of your energy, or you'll drain them of their energy, something like that. Yeah, I think maybe something about mirroring each other. Maybe there's a mirror of each other. Maybe you're mirroring old wounds to each other, because you have to ask yourself, what would make a man want to be with a woman he can't touch, and what would make a woman want to be with a man that she can't touch? But of course, they may have connected on a level, but as we know through the series, they connected through their wounds. Rogue and Gambit, you know? Rogue and Gambit is a great story for those who are Marvel fans and 90s. You know, if you ever seen X-Men 97 or any of the X-Men, then you already know about this relationship. It's a very, sad, beautiful one, but ultimately Magneto's that dude. You could be feeling like you're super strange right now. Maybe you feel like you fell out of place. And my ears are popping. Honey, you're a part of something bigger, okay? And I see this letting go of control at all costs. Maybe you had this Dr. Doom. Maybe that's where all this breaking these things down into tower. Maybe you had this Dr. Doom energy, like, I'm gonna send it to hell, burn it all down. Maybe you did that. Maybe you had this, like, I just say shit, gonna go to hell. And that's, that sounds cute on the movies. This is good for TV, but in real life, that shit show up and you end up looking, having wild energy like this. It's not really funny. It's only funny on TV, guys. So if you're really dealing with this in real life because of behavior like this, you're being asked to listen to the voice of God so you can manifest, so you can have direction, so you can have a new passion, new pursuit. You're going to be given guidance. You're going to be told what to do. And some of you may like fire gazing. Some of you do fire gaze. Some of you like being around fire. And if you do, maybe spirit talks to you through the fire. Maybe you get clarity. You're looking at fire. And remember to celebrate. Even when you feel sad, when I say celebrate, don't. So if this is you, if you're a strategic person, maybe that's what we're alchemizing. Is how to be more Nick Fury and less, less, emperor in reverse, less, overbearing, dictatorial confirmation, because it'll bring you a lot of shock energy and a lot of confusion, a lot of stagnant energy with no direction. Yeah, and it's going to stop your magic. You won't be able to perform magic. When I say magic, you won't be able to create what it is that you want for your life. And you won't be able to hear from God, and God won't be able to bless you. So when you send up offerings, when you give up your prayers, he won't receive them. Prayers unreceived. So we want God to listen to our prayers. You may feel like you're not good enough, but you certainly are good enough, okay? Just because we do bad things or have bad things, don't let your ego get in the way. Hey guys, it comes up every time. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationships, love bombing. You are good enough. And when you don't believe you're good enough, you end up doing these type of things, okay? But you're good enough, okay? You're more than good enough. Whoever needs to hear that, you're more than good enough. Stop letting yourself be possessed by these double energies. You have this double life that you live, okay? You don't have to do that. You can literally become one. I love Venom. I love how they talk in the movie in his head. Perhaps that should be maybe the energy that you can think about when you're talking to the Most High. Which voice are you listening to? Okay? Love you guys.